Okay, guys, I want to have a quick conversation about why you need local realtors' opinions, why you need a local expert. There are some markets where there are hundreds of sales every month of identical lots where, okay, it's easy enough, it's homogeneous enough that you can figure it out just by looking on Zillow and checking zoning and the GIS and that sort of thing. But in the vast majority of markets, you need a local realtor's opinion of value before you have done business there. Of course, in some of the more nuanced markets, over the course of years, you do dozens of deals, you get to know it well enough. But what prompted this whole conversation was we got a submission for funding where the guy had never done business there, and it was not clear what the comps were. And he didn't have a local realtor opinion of value. And we get this all the time, and it seems to be taught to try and comp and value very ambiguous land without a local realtor's opinion, which is just silly. So I'm going to give three examples of this, of why this is so important. So here's Pueblo West. If you've seen any of my videos, I'm sure you've seen this. And 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago, the county took over maintenance of the roads in Pueblo West. Pueblo West is not part of the city of Pueblo. It is a different entity. It's not incorporated, and it was overseen previously by the Metro District. And when the county took over, they changed the rules. And this isn't advertised on land listings, but there are a whole bunch of roads where it's zoned multifamily or fourplex, sometimes full-blown multifamily, as many units as you can fit. And since the county took over, they're now saying, hey, if you want to build on your lot on this road, you have to repave the whole road. Now that gets astronomical in cost, and that essentially has made many of those lots darn near worthless. You wouldn't know that if you didn't talk to local realtors. And if you mailed those streets, you'd get lots of responses with sellers that were thrilled to sell. There's a number of streets where maintenance and repair of the water and sewer lines are required if you want to build. Again, you don't know this if you don't talk to local realtors. And if you look on those streets, there aren't a lot of comps, and you could easily overlook the significance or the different zoning on one specific street compared to another. You gotta have a local realtor or you could quickly get burned. So that's one example in a market I do a lot of business. Here's another one. This is in North Carolina. This little area is really hot. There's lots of sales, but you see 5,000, 13,000, 89. Why is this all over the place? And let's look at the solds because, anyone can list anything for whatever price they want. Let's see, is there this much ambiguity in solds? It's not as bad, but 7, 15, 28, 9.5, 35. It's still a little unclear. If you go back 6 months, you'll see that's the case. And I'll tell you, in this market, there is soil quality. Soil quality varies dramatically from one section to another. And most people that know what they're doing know about the importance of a perk test and getting that done. But beyond that, there's wetlands. And talking to our realtor who knows this market really well, she can tell you the difference between all the different types of wetlands, some of which are not that big of a deal, some of which make the land worthless. Again, it's just another thing that affects the value that you won't know just by looking at Zillow. Realtors aren't advertising, hey, this is in a wetland that makes this worthless, or this wetland's moderately challenging, but you can still build. Realtors don't tell you that sort of thing in their listings. You gotta have a local expert on your team who will help you look and analyze the land and in person too. So that's just another example. This is a very nuanced market with certain areas of very poor soil quality and certain areas of wetlands that are and are not problematic. So again, gotta have the local expert on your team. Doesn't have to be a realtor. Maybe you find a builder ahead of time and get their criteria, get what they want, and they'll tell you these things too. So regardless of who it is, it's got to be an expert. One final example, less of pitfalls, but more just ambiguity of comping and difficulty of, or potential of overlooking good deals. This is a lot right here that we sold just this month, and we bought it at 40. Now, when we got this lead initially, we saw, okay, this is 15 acres for 80K. 15 acres for 45. I mean, that's pretty far away, but it's on the same highway. 12,000 over on the river for 10 acres. looking around, this is really hard to comp. Okay, here's zero point 0.7 for 40, but without getting too in depth, you look around here and it is really difficult to arrive at the conclusion that 3.71 acres was worth $70,000. We sold it quickly. Honestly, we probably could have gotten a little higher, but still a good deal. And the only reason we had the confidence in doing this deal was because we had a local realtor who said, "Oh, that is right down the street from the new fin feather fir. They're expanding the road right there, but it's not taking much off of this lot. It's more expanding on the other side. And there's lots of mobile home park, RV storage, RV park investors that would love this lot." And this is very specific local market knowledge that allowed us to have the confidence to buy this lot and resell it. And there is a 0% chance we would have done that if it weren't for the local realtor. I can go on and on with examples like this where there's lots that appeared to be poor deals, but there was something a local knew that allowed us to have the confidence to buy it. There's one we bought in Miami County, Miami-Dade County last year, very rural, not near the city, where there was zero comps, zero. We bought it for 45. We didn't know when we initially analyzed it, is it even worth 45? But our realtor said, "Hey, that is an incredibly desirable piece of land because anything in Miami County will fly off the shelf." We ended up selling it for over $130,000 in a few days. And I didn't even know if it was worth 45. It was only because of the local realtor. So all that to say, guys, don't try and approach this business without local experts on your team. Even in some of the very homogeneous subdivisions, if it's treed, you need someone to go walk it in person and make sure that one lot isn't depressed or really wet. I've made that mistake, trust me. So get a local expert on your team. Make sure they check it out in person. Make sure they double check your deals. And especially when you're new, you can reach a point of competency in a given market where you know it street by street, but that takes time. So anyways, quick and to the point, but make sure you have a local expert on your team.